Kishori and Karishma, I'm so happy to be talking to you today, but I'm so sad to see you go. You're one of the most entertaining teams, I think, not just this season, but I think maybe in several seasons. So,
Oh, that's so nice.
Thank
so
you.
we really were all rooting for you to go much further than you did. Um, so I want to start by walking through this last leg in Santiago. And it seemed like they showed every team having some kind of difficulty. And I wasn't getting the feeling until the very end that your difficulty was any worse than anybody else's. So do you know what the one thing might have been that maybe pushed you to the back of the pack? Was it just the roadblock, or what else was going on there?
I think throughout it, I think the main probably thing was the roadblock. The skateboard did take me a minute to do. Just taking because like in the episode you can see the little I still don't even know what it's called. I
The
didn't even
bolt
look
got
after
stuck. The
the
bolt,
the
the
bolt
nut,
was stuck. You
purple.
did not. Oh yeah, Rod was said it so
The
many
nut,
times.
the nut, the
The
nut.
nut was stuck in the tool, and so I knew what was wrong. I just had to disassemble the skateboard, and so what caught me was just having to figure out how to get it out because I was disassembling it, and the nut got stuck in it. I was like, how do I get this out? So that was something that kind of put me in panic mode. I would say that definitely didn't help us out with the beginning of the leg. That definitely set us back. I think we had a little bit of navigation issues, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
And I think we got through the rock climbing wall fairly fast as well.
I would also say, like, I don't think, I think at the end of the day, too, like, there are just some teams that are able to, like, Busy and Sunny are like speed demons, like during roadblocks. So
Yes.
it's like, there was nothing that, like, Karishma could have, like, they literally got there and they just, like, there's just some things that you can do so fast. And so I don't think it was anything to our fault, if you will. Like,
Mhm.
it was how it turned out, how it ended up.
Yeah, I always think I'm like, I wish the rock climbing wall was the roadblock because I could have done that in maybe 20 seconds. Like that was, I was like, oh, why wasn't this
It
the
was very
roadblock? I'd
fast.
have to be building the skateboard.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It seemed like a couple of times the decision of who should be doing the roadblock came down to the question they asked, and then the question turned out to be a little bit misleading. And I
oh my
think
God.
sometimes, like, those of us watching at home can be looking at that and thinking, like, this is crazy. How do they not know it's a trick? Like, could you give us a little bit more insight into your rationale on who should be doing which roadblocks?
You just don't know. You never know. And I think, like, viewers at home, what they don't realize is, like, you are sleep deprived, you're dehydrated, you're hungry, you're like under an immense amount of pressure. There's like cameras in your face. You feel this like sense of urgency because there you see teams like running by you and you're like, oh my God, like what am I gonna do? And so like I think all those factors make your decision making skills like a little wonky in general. And like when you read it, you think it's one thing, in reality, it's completely different. And we continuously joked that like everything that I did, she should have done. Everything that she did, I should have done. It's just like at the end of
Exactly.
the day, you have no idea what curveballs they're going to throw your way, and you just have to like hope for the best and do your best.
Yeah. And just the way things are phrased are so tricky. Like
So
the who's
tricky.
feeling artsy. And I was like, we're in front of a bunch of sculptures. I'm sure we're going to be sculpting something. Let me take this one. Nope. Navigation, memory, puzzle challenge, everything Kishori's
Yeah.
got. Who wants to board? And I was like, we're in front of a skate park.
That
It
was
only makes sense
skateboarding.
that
Yeah.
we're skateboarding. And it's just like you
Yeah.
you never know what it actually means. So yeah, it was crazy, but I mean, at least I got to pick up some new skills.
It's good. Yeah, that's true.
You got to learn something new every day, right? Was there anything that you didn't get to do that you wished you had? Like, was there a task? Was there a variety of tasks that you really wished they would have thrown your way?
Oh my gosh, yes.
That's such a good
Um,
question.
I so I grew up like singing and dancing and swimming, and I wish there was like some sort of like, yes, we had the break dancing, which okay, that was funny and chaotic in its own way. But like I wish there was like a swimming challenge or like an ocean challenge. Just because at the start of the Mexico starting line, we were on the beach and we saw buoys in the water, and Christian and I were like, "Oh my god, like we're gonna be swimming in the ocean!" Like I was so excited, and then it wasn't, sadly. But Krishma is like an avid skydiver, and I've never been skydiving before, so I think that would have been really cool to like experience that with her. Um, I'm glad I at least got to go paragliding in a sense. I did something in the sky with her, which was really cool. But all in all,
Yeah.
like we were grateful for all the different experiences we got to do.
Yeah, I think for me, in terms of the challenges, I was just waiting for something that I knew I would be really good at. Like I was just waiting for adrenaline packed things. I was like, okay, let's go bungee jumping. I will not like that'll take me a minute. Like I was like skydiving, bungee jumping, some rappelling, some like actual like being on a mountain, like something that was scary for other people. I'm like, those are the things I'm good
Yeah.
at because I'm just not scared of those kinds of things. And I'm just waiting for a challenge like that. I was like, oh, I can take that. This is my strength. This is where we will shine. And that just never happened for us, but that's okay.
It's luck of the draw, I think.
It
Exactly.
is.
Yeah.
So one thing that we talked about on yesterday while Mike and I were talking through the podcast is we're talking about the way that different people talk to each other to get them down from the ledge. And we were really struck by the different ways in which you two know how to relate to each other in those high stress moments. And I'm just curious to know if there's anything that you learned about your relationship with each other while you were out there.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I think for Kashori at least, I really learned about her patience. She was so patient with me through every challenge that I did, even though I was struggling in the back end. Like she knew that talking down to me wouldn't, make me feel better, but she was just always so supportive of me. And even though, like, I was sitting at the puzzles just struggling, and yes, she was crying, and I felt so bad, but her tears motivated me. I'm like, oh my God, I can't let Kashori down. I gotta run faster. I gotta memorize these things. I felt so bad. And then when we got to the skateboarding challenge, like she still was motivating me throughout it. Like I feel like there's a moment if you wanted to, you could be mean to your partner, check out and be like, I'm so done with them. Like, why didn't I do this? Like she never did that to me. So I really appreciated her patience and her lovingness towards me throughout the entire race because it could have gone an opposite way, but it really didn't. So that was something I really learned about Kashori, and that's something I value about her and that we take into like regular life now. Like she's just so patient. She's just very caring and kind person.
And then I think for Karishma, I think likewise, honestly, like when I was like frustrated or like climbing the wall and I was just like a little bit scared, right? Like she was like, Kashori's love language, words of affirmation. Like I'm gonna encourage her. And I think something really funny about Karishma is like she just has these hilarious one-liners. And like that would crack me up throughout the season when she would like call me Shaq or like call me something. And I would just be like, oh my God, Karishma. But like she just has this like very like vibrant, vivacious personality, and like she just makes you want to continue to be better and do better, and like has this zest for life and this like fun loving like dynamic personality. And it was great.
I mean, it was never in doubt that you were not having the time of your lives out there, for
We were
sure.
always laughing, always
Yeah, it
giggling,
was
always
so
having a
much
good time.
fun. I loved it. I was like, well, at least we're on the Amazing Race. I'm
Yeah.
maybe at the back of the pack, but I'm having fun.
So, Kishori, what's your favorite celebrity comparison that Karishma's given you?
Oh my God. I was when watching it back, I was like, girl, what? Like some of these one-liners were so funny. She called me Martha Stewart. She called me
No,
Shaq.
I didn't call you Martha Stewart. I was just channeling Martha Stewart energy when
Oh,
I was trying
channeling
to
Martha
write
Stewart.
it.
Oh, okay,
I
okay,
was like,
okay.
Martha Stewart, Martha Stewart. I was like, I didn't
Okay.
even know I said that. And I remember, I think like I was walking around when the show was, I was like, who said that? That was so funny. And I was like, oh, it was me.
It was me. I think my favorite one was Shaq because it's so funny. Like I'm 5'8", Krishma's 4'11", but it makes it seem like I'm a giant. Like so people have been like, "Oh, I thought you were like 6'5". I'm like, "No, we're really not that." Like I don't know. It's funny. That was a funny one.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I loved it. I loved all the memes too. Like somebody edited us for like the like tune into next week's dance challenge. And it was like Shaq edited on Kashori and Danny DeVito
Danny
edited on me. I was
DeVito.
like, that's so funny.
That's amazing.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
So tell us a little bit about your journey to get on The Amazing Race. Like, I know this is a show that you've watched for a long time. You're obviously big fans. How did you end up getting cast?
I just sent in like a regular submission video with actually one of my college guy best friends. And then I got a call from Joy Gordo on the casting team, and she said, "Hey, like, we really are looking for an all female team. Do you have a sister?" And I was like, "I don't have a sister, but I have a cousin who is like my sister, who I'm very close with, and is also very like out there, adventurous, spontaneous, and would probably eat the show up and love it." And she was like, "Okay, great." So I call up Karishma, and then Karishma, if you want to finish the
Yeah, so
story.
she actually calls me. I was studying abroad on semester at sea, so I was like sailing and we were docked in like Portugal at the time. And we were actually supposed to be sailing when Kashori called me. And when we're sailing, you have no cell service at all. So she wouldn't have been able to reach me. And that night, I vividly remember the captain being like, there's a huge storm in Portugal. We're going to spend the night here and be docked at the port. And after the captain said that, I was like in the library just studying, and Kashori calls me, and I'm like, oh, Kashori, great. Okay, let me call Kashori. She doesn't call me in a minute. And I answer the phone, and she's like, Karishma, I have this amazing opportunity for you. Do you want to do the Amazing Race? If you do, like, you need to get on the phone right now with this casting producer. And I'm literally just like in the library studying, like, well, okay. So I run up to the top deck. I get on my like laptop. I'm holding it up, like she can tell I'm on a ship.
You can see the
And I'm
ocean in
just
the
like,
background in the video.
I'm just like, hey, I love to do it. Like, what do you want to know? And it was from there. The rest was history. But I always think that was like a really meant to be moment because I was supposed to be sailing and that storm happened. And then Kashori called me, and I always thought, like, what would have happened if I was sailing? Like, who knows? So
You
I'm
would
really,
have had
really,
Wi-Fi connection if she was sailing, and she had connection in port, so it was wild.
yeah, it was a really great feeling. I loved it.
It
I really,
probably
really,
didn't hurt that you were on a ship with the ocean in a storm in the background. That had to
Yeah,
be a pretty dramatic moment.
probably.
Memorable.
definitely memorable.
For sure. So I have a last question for Karishma. Did you drop an F-bomb while you were at the top of the climbing wall?
I don't think so. I really wouldn't say that. Well, maybe I would, but like, I really don't think that.
That's
I was
so
thinking that, and I
funny.
was like, did I say that? I think I said freaking, and I think like I probably did. Like, I do curse a lot. I'm not gonna lie on that one. But I don't think I did. I think I said freaking, but who knows? Race Krishma's crazy. Who knows what she said? Because I'm like watching the show. I'm like, I said that. So who knows? But I don't think so.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want the listeners to know, or anything else you want to let us know about what you're up to?
That's a great question. We're just having fun. We're living life. I love it. I'm so grateful for the show and everybody who supported us throughout the entire thing. Like, there were so many people who are rooting for us, and like just everyone who believed in us to make the show possible. I'm really truly thankful for, because not everyone can say they raced around the world and got the opportunity to do the Amazing Race. So we really truly are grateful that they saw something in us and we got to have this amazing adventure together. It was so amazing, and I loved every minute of it, and we would totally do it again in a heartbeat. So happy for all of that.
Yeah, I would say ditto. It was such an amazing experience. Super grateful for it. And I am very proud of us because I do think it takes a lot of guts to do the race, and it's harder than it looks. So I was really proud of
Mhm.
us. And it was just such a insane, insane opportunity. But Karishma has some trips planned. I'm trying to plan a trip with her as well later this year. So we
Oh
are
yeah,
still
I'm
telling
always
the world adventuring.
traveling. I'm doing my own amazing race. I'm like, Krishma's amazing race is just life. But yeah, Kishore, I'm trying to convince Kishori to come skydiving with me in Egypt in October. So we'll see if she comes. Maybe she will. But yeah, that'd be fun. Tune in there. I mean, you can just follow us out on Instagram. That's where we usually are, and you can keep up with our chaos there. So
Well, thank you both very much for talking to me this morning. And we are so excited that we've had the opportunity to see you on the race. It was really so much fun. And hope you won't be strangers in the future. So take care.
of course, thank
Thanks
you
so
so
much,
much.
Jess.
I listened to your podcast. Like, after every episode, I would listen to your recaps, and I'm like, because I loved hearing the tea. I loved hearing, I'm like, what are people?
So fun. So
Yeah, so
fun.
I loved it. I think the last one I listened to was with Mike on with you, and I think James was also joining in. That was the last
Yes.
one I listened to, but I need to catch up. I've been so busy, but I loved it. I was like, oh my gosh, I know you.
Oh, that's so fun. And I was excited to see you at the premiere party as well. So
Yes, it was so nice to see you. Actually, you should come to the New York one. I was telling
I'm to
Mike
the
that.
yeah,
finale.
well, we'll be here.
Yeah.
I'm local, Mike's local. So
No,
all right.
Perfect.
Well, thanks very
perfect.
much.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. Have a good
Bye.
one.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.